Wendy and her brothers, John and Michael, were having a great pillow fight. "Oh, Michael, John, stop. The room is full of feathers," cried Wendy. Just then, in came their own mother and father. "My goodness, what a mess," said their mother. "You are all too old to be playing such games," said their father. "Isn't that right, Nana?" Nana wagged her tail, and she tried her best to look stern. "Now hop into bed and get some sleep," said their mother. "Remember, tomorrow is Michael's birthday." Their mother and father and Nana kissed them each good night. They closed the door behind them as they left. "I don't care what they say. I won't grow up if we can't have pillow fights," said Michael. "Grown-ups never have any fun," said John. "I won't grow up either. So there." "Neither will I," said Wendy. She thought for a moment. "Wait, I have an idea," she cried. "If we go live in Neverland with Peter Pan, we won't have to grow up. Not ever." "What a wonderful idea," said the boys. "I wish Peter Pan was here," Wendy said softly. Peter Pan was the boy who never grew up. He lived in Neverland. With him lived his band of lost boys and their pixie, Tinker Bell. Peter heard Wendy's wish and flew to her window. Wendy and the boys told Peter their plan. "Of course I'll take you back to Neverland," said Peter Pan. "Then you won't ever have to grow up. Just a bit of pixie dust and off we go!" At last they all reached Neverland. Wendy and her brothers were glad to be back. "It's Wendy! Hooray!" shouted the lost boys. Everyone was happy but Tinker Bell. "What a fuss over Wendy and her brothers," she said. "Oh boy, I can't wait till tomorrow. It's my birthday. I bet you have really wonderful birthday parties in Neverland, don't you?" asked Michael. "Birthday parties?" asked the lost boys. "What are they?" "We have birthday parties every year for each year that we grow older," explained John. "We have cake and candles," said Michael, "balloons and costumes, and lots of presents." "We never have birthday parties here," said Peter. "We don't grow older." "No birthday parties?" gasped Wendy, Michael, and John. "No," said Peter, "but we make up for that. We have fun every day of the year." "That's right," shouted the lost boys. "We get up at any time we like. No one tells us to wash our hands or comb our hair." All the boys talked at once. John and Michael cheered up right away, but Wendy did not look happy. "Come on, Wendy," said Peter Pan. "Let's take a walk. When you remember how beautiful Neverland is, you'll forget all about birthday parties." Tinker Bell watched Peter and Wendy. She was not very happy about Wendy living in Neverland. As Wendy and Peter sat by the beach, a rowboat came to shore. In the boat was Pirates Captain Hook and his faithful pirate Smee. They climbed out of the boat, and then they crept behind the bushes, where they could hear what Peter and Wendy were saying. "Birthday parties are important, Peter. At ours, we have wonderful cakes. There were presents for everyone," they heard Wendy say. "I like the sound of birthday parties, Smee," said Captain Hook. "I must have one. We have to capture Wendy. I want her to give a birthday party for me." "I have an idea, Wendy," cried Peter. "We'll give you and your brothers a welcoming party. It won't be the same as a birthday party, but it'll be lots of fun." Peter ran to tell the boys. "I'm gonna look for some berries," said Wendy. "I'll make some special birthday pies." Off she went into the woods. "Aha!" said Captain Hook. "Now's our chance. Let's get her." He and Smee grabbed Wendy and ran. Tinker Bell saw the pirates carry away Wendy. "Good," she thought. "Now I must make sure no one finds out what has happened. Peter will soon forget about Wendy and that silly party." Quickly she flew over to the boys. She sprinkled them with pixie dust. The boys went right to sleep. Not one of them heard Wendy's cries for help. John and Michael were the first ones to wake. "Goodness," said John, "Neverland is really different. We don't have to go to bed to fall asleep." "Where's Wendy?" Michael asked. All the boys looked for Wendy. They could not find her anywhere. Michael began to cry. Tinker Bell heard Michael cry. Oh dear, she thought. I didn't want the boys to cry. I had better make sure that Wendy's all right before it's too late. Captain Hook and Smee were about to put Wendy into their boat. No, 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 I will not give you a party, cried Wendy. Let me go, you wicked creatures. Let me go. Faster than a butterfly, Tinker Bell flew back to Peter and the Lost Boys. Tink has found Wendy, said Peter. Captain Hook and Smee have her. Captain Hook wants Wendy to give him a birthday party. We've got to save her, cried John. But how? Asked the Lost Boys. Peter thought for a moment. Then he came up with a plan. Captain Hook wants a party, said Peter, so we'll just have to give him one. Didn't Wendy say that, well, sometimes people wear, costumes to parties, he asked. Yes, said Michael, silly costumes or scary costumes. Then that is what we'll do. There is no time to waste. We'll all switch clothes and wear twigs and branches. That'll surprise Hook and Smee all right, said Peter. They all changed quickly. Come on, everyone. Let's get 'em, cried Peter. Peter led them straight through the woods. Then they came to the beach and jumped out from behind the trees. Hook and Smee gasped in surprise. Who are these strange creatures? Surprise! Shouted Peter and the boys. Drat's, it's Peter Pan. I should have known, groaned Captain Hook. He lifted Wendy. You're coming with me, little girl. Peter tripped Captain Hook. Down went Hook. Up flew Wendy. But she landed safely in Peter's arms. Hook and Smee ran quickly to their rowboat. After them! Cried the Lost Boys. Oh, let them go. Wendy is safe, said Peter. It's punishment enough that Hook will never have a party. Hook and Smee rowed away fast. I'll get you yet, Peter Pan. Just wait and see, shouted Hook. They're gone, yelled the boys. Hooray! Thank goodness, said Wendy. And don't come back, shouted Peter. I don't think they'll be back for a while, said Wendy. She pointed to the water. They all saw the crocodile swimming after Captain Hook. They laughed and they headed back into the woods. I want to go home, said Michael in a small voice. I want a real birthday party with Mom and Dad and Nana. I'd like to go home too, said John. Just think of how unhappy that they'd be if we actually stayed in Neverland forever. Wendy smiled at her brothers. Maybe growing up won't be so bad after all, she said. Peter Pan was sorry to see Wendy and the boys go. But Tinker Bell sprinkled them all with pixie dust so they could not change their minds. Then she and Peter flew home. Wendy tucked her sleepy brothers into bed. Then she went to the window. Goodbye, Peter Pan and Tinker Bell, she said. Someday we will see you again. Even though we will grow up, part of us will never really grow up all the way. The end.